whiskey lovers, and welcome to another one of Mark's Whiskey Ramblings. And as you can see, today we will try not one, not two, but three single malts. Three whiskies today. Not that I'm being greedy, no, there is a reason for that, and I'll explain it to you. The first reason is these are all three from the same independent bottler, Signatory Vintage. Signatory Vintage is a well-known independent bottler owned by the Symington brothers. It was founded in 1988 when Brian and Andrew Symington still ran the Prestonfield Hotel. Andrew went on to form this company, this independent bottler, and he also became a distiller when he bought Edradour Distillery in Pitlochry in 2002. Now those warehouses of Pitlochry, they are filled with casks from almost every distillery imaginable, and they also have quite a few casks of my beloved Lowlander Auchentoshan. That's reason number two for trying these three, because all three are Auchentoshan single malt. The third reason is the following. These three are all composed from bourbon barrels, and they are all sister casks, meaning they were distilled around the same period and bottled around the same period. For example, the first one is a Auchentoshan 16-year-old from 2000 and is composed of two bourbon barrels. The second one is a single bourbon barrel and is an 18-year-old bottled in 2000. And finally we have a 16-year-old from 2001, which was bottled in 2016 from a single barrel. And this one is different from the other two because these two are bottled at a drinking strength of 46%. The last one is cask strength. So come a bit closer and take a good look at these labels. So this first one is a vintage 2016 years old, distilled on the 7th of February 2000, and is composed of two bourbon barrels. The second one was distilled on the very same day. It was also distilled on the 7th of February 2000, but this was matured until the 10th of May 2018, making this an 18 years old. As you can see, this is a single cask bourbon barrel. Now the last one is a bit older. It was distilled 13th of June 2001, and it matured for 16 years, and it was bottled on the 3rd of October 2017 and is a single barrel. The difference here is this is bottled at 58.2% ABV. So let's put these head to head and see if we can find any similarities, if any, or differences, because as you can see, these were distilled in the same period. This a bit later. They matured for around the same period of time, 16 to 18 years, and they are sister casks. The numbers of the casks are really close to each other. So let's find out if these have similar traits or not. Okay, here we go. So the first one is a pale straw, as is the second one, and I will try these first because these two are at 46%, so light on the alcohol side. The first one, let's go. This is textbook Auchentoshan. I get some citrus, some buttercups, gooseberries, pineapple, lemongrass. This is typical of a medium-aged, bourbon-matured Auchentoshan. Delicate, accessible, fruity, citrusy, aperitif. The other one, well, it's almost the same. It's buttercups again, gooseberries, pineapple, pears, a bit of kiwi here, but they're very similar. If I were to try these blind, I would not be able to put them apart. Lovely, lovely. Now let's move on to the last one, which is bottled at cask strength, and it's a bit darker. These were pale straw, but this is more like full golden on the nose. Oh, something else entirely. Well, not entirely, but different enough. Quite different, in fact. This is tropical fruit. I get some mango, pineapple, kiwi and pears as well, but also some banana. This is more creamy, more layered, and truth be told, a little more complex. Could it be that this has to do with the fact that this was distilled on another day? Obviously. And it matured on another cask, obviously, but still it's a bourbon barrel. The higher strength might have something to do with it. But this is clearly a different nose, so I'll put this aside here and go on with trying these two first on the palate. Number one. Oily, creamy, but with a bit of oomph, you know, it's got a little bit of power in there. Grapefruit, icing sugar, gooseberries, unripe banana, some licorice, some pepper. And the finish is medium to long on sweet and sour lemon and oranges with a bit of pepper in there. The other one at 46, however, equally spicy, some pepper, some licorice, but then the gooseberries and the grapefruit kick in. Icing sugar is there again. Clearly very similar. On the finish, rather short, a bit shorter than the first one, but equally pleasant on pepper and licorice. Again, these are twins. They may be sister casks, but these are definitely twins. Well, and that's not that far-fetched, because these were both distilled on the 7th of February 2000, so they are actually twins and not just sisters. The other one, however, this one, the third one, the high-strength version, that's funny. Despite the high ABV, this is silky soft. Oh, well, it's less tropical than the nose promised. It's still very fruity. I get some pink grapefruit, some mandarin, lemongrass, licorice. But the finish is very long. It starts off sweet, but then it leaves the mouth completely dry at the end. Well, the first two, they're both at 46%. They are clearly twins. They are so similar that you would be hard pressed to tell them apart if you were to taste them blind. But they are oh so typical Auchentoshan and ideal aperitif style whiskey. The Auchentoshan 2001 at cask strength, however, is quite different, and not just only because of the higher ABV. It's more tropical, more fruity, and quite a bit more complex, and thus this is easily the favorite of the three for me. But having said that, if this is what Andrew Symington has lying around in his warehouses, these type of quality Auchentoshan, if this is the stuff you have, Mr. Symington, Andrew, Andy, we need to talk. And that's all for this Whisky Rambling. 3 head-to-heads, sister casks of Auchentoshan from Signatory Vintage, and I hope to see you at one of Mark's Whisky Ramblings real soon. And until then, may the malt be with you.